One of my favorite standalone cartridges of the year is this behind me. This is awesome. This is the TMNT Cowabunga Collection, and it combines some of the best games ever into one compilation. You're looking at games from the Game Boy to the NES to the Super NES to the Sega Genesis and the arcade, all in one convenient and amazing compilation. But recently I was talking to Jay over at Square Pegs, I was talking to Kris at GameDad, and I was talking to John Riggs, and we got to talking about, like, this is such an amazing collection. What other collections would we like to see? Make sure you keep an eye out on their channels, as they have videos very similar to this that they're going to be tackling their own topics and subjects on this. For me, I'm a Disney nut, so I wanted to talk about a collection of Disney games I would love to see released in physical form from the years gone past and into the future, so that we can go ahead and play them on modern hardware. Now, I do have to give honorable mention to one collection, sort of, that's already out there. Sealed! I still have a sealed copy of Aladdin and the Lion King, and this is a great collection as well. I already have these, so I haven't even opened my copy yet, but having these on a compilation with other amazing Disney games, like I say, it'd be terrific. So what we're going to do is we are going to walk through some of our favorite Disney games and see which ones we would like to have included all on one piece of hardware. Let's get started. We have to thank our sponsor for this episode, Whoom. Now, if you're like me, you are hooking up a ton of different HDMI type devices to modern flat panel TVs, to switch boxes, to capture cards, and having a good quality HDMI cable, well, that can make all the difference. And Whoom has a number of different cables in a variety of different lengths that are capable of up to 8K data transmission, 48 gigabit per second data as well. These are designed to get you the best quality audio and video through to your modern flat panel TV. They also support HDMI ARC, which means that you can go ahead and connect devices to sound bars and have that data transmission go back and forth. Like I mentioned, these are available in a wide variety of lengths, from like 3 feet here, 6 feet here. I've got a 10-footer now that is going from my switch box to my video capture card. There's so many things that are really nice about these. The braided cabling, these are going to stand the test of time. The 24 karat gold plated connectors on here, the metal connectors on the end, much more durable than cheaper, lower grade, lower quality plastic type connectors or rubber type connectors you'll find out there. I know it may sound silly. I love the fact that they include these little Velcro straps. So if you have excess run of cable, you can go ahead, shorten that up, so that way you have a cleaner overall installation. These are going to be my cables of choice moving forward to connect up everything that I have here to my switch box, to my capture card, and even upstairs. And the wonderful thing too, these are HDMI 2.1 compliant. So if you're playing games like on the PS4, PS5, the Xbox Series S, Series X, or if you're streaming through devices like the Nvidia Shield TV that can take advantage of that higher throughput of HDMI 2.1, these cables will be able to handle it for you. Now, they can handle 4K and 8K, so these will also help future-proof. There's not a whole lot of 8K content out there right now, but when it's there, these will be able to handle it for you. I will have a link down below in our pinned comment where you can go ahead and take a look at the different sizes and options that they offer. Thanks again for sponsoring this video. Now, if there are different versions of a game, I'm going to want those in here too. So for example, we're going to start off with a just banger of a game, and that is Mickey Mouse's Castle of Illusion. The search is on. Mickey tackles the magnificent lands where fantasy and danger become real. A water sprout whirls Mickey around. A frantic Toyland suddenly flips upside down. To stay on his feet, Mickey runs, leaps, and bounces, slinging apples and marbles at his enemies. This is one of the earliest Disney games that I can remember that was simply amazing. This we're showing here through our JVC Xi. This is the Sega Genesis version. It is available, I believe, on the Game Gear. There's a version for the Master System and a whole lot more. The sound is terrific. The gameplay is terrific. This is just overall a great experience, and something that, I don't even think they would need to remaster. Maybe, something that would be remastered would be fun. but it doesn't even really need it. It still, looks how good these 32-year-old, God, I'm old, but these 32-year-old colors and animations and sprites and everything look. I absolutely love Mickey's Castle of Illusion, and I think you would too. Up next is Mickey Mania, and this is actually my European PAL copy that I got from Earsha Gaming. Do want to take a second and congratulate her on her recent wedding. Congratulations, Irene. So this is the timeless adventure of Mickey Mouse, featuring characters created by the legendary Disney Studios, an all-action Technicolor tale incorporating a myriad of gameplay possibilities that will scroll, rotate, and propel you through the magical career of the world's most famous cartoon star. What I love about this is you go from the Steamboat Willie era to, more up-to-date versions of Mickey as well. The graphics, they're beautiful. Like Castle of Illusion is a great looking game, don't get me wrong, but this takes the artwork, the sprite work even further, and it looks even closer to the original animated cartoons from Walt Disney himself. And again, as a huge Disney fanatic, Mickey Mouse and Mickey Mania, I would love to have this on a collection with other terrific Disney games. Well, you can't have Mickey without Donald, am I right? I mean, Donald Duck Quackshot it's just a silly, unique sort of fun, and you don't expect this sort of thing out of Donald, but man, like, look at this animation. It is so good. You got Donald and Daisy in here, and you have a number of other characters. You've got Huey, Dewey, Louie, and of course Goofy in here too. And this is just a wild duck chase. Donald unearths an ancient scroll that reveals a long-lost treasure. Off he dashes on a dangerous expedition. He leaps over cacti, slides steps, scorpions, and slides down big slopes to claim the loot before Big Bad Pete can get it. I mean, this is just one of those games. It's an action-adventure kind of puzzle sort of game. And I don't mean like Tetris puzzle, but like where you have to solve the puzzles to continue on with the game. And again, kind of like Mickey Mania, the animation here looks amazing. I mean, I love the way Pete looks here. The waddle on Donald is just great. This is just, it's such a beautiful and amazing game. I would love to be able to play this. And this is another one that I'm not 100% sure, but I think not only was it on the Sega Genesis, I want to say there was a handheld version of Quackshot as well. But now let's turn to some 8-bit games, because man, there were so many great NES Disney titles. I don't know what to say, but there is something about her. Ariel, the Little Mermaid. This is actually a great, like a beginning entry-level sort of game for kids to get into, but it also is a pretty challenging game in and of itself. It still looks pretty decent, and it's actually one of those too where it's available on the NES, and there's also a Game Boy and I think a Game Gear version. I believe it's just one of those things where, once again, you could have one title, but you would get multiple versions of it, so that you could go ahead and add even more value to a collection such as this. Now, this is the NES version that I'm playing here, obviously, but overall, this is just a game, great music, great overall gameplay experience. It's just one of those that I am glad that I have in my collection, and I'm looking forward, as much as Ellie, my youngest, loves The Little Mermaid, I'm looking forward to her getting into this as she gets just a little bit older. I think this is something that, we need more entry-level type games for kids to be able to enjoy. That's not blood, guts, and gore. It's not, it's not Fortnite. It's, it's not Minecraft. It's something that, it's classic and it's timeless. And, I just want something like this to be part of her world. So I know I'm cheating on here, but man, I would love to have the Afternoon Collection on one compilation. Now, it's available digitally on the Xbox. I believe it's also on the PlayStation, not 100% sure on it. But in here you get the original NES Ducktales, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck. You get Ducktales 2, which is stupid expensive on the NES and honestly not worth it. Plus, you also get Chippendales Rescue Rangers 2, another one that it's pretty expensive to get the NES cartridge right now. I don't think it's as good as the first game. But now too, with like Ducktales 2, with Darkwing Duck, with almost all of these, there's also Game Boy in-game gear versions of these games. And it's one of those where they still play so good. Ducktales, the music is so good. And I would dare say on Ducktales, you even would add in the Ducktales Remastered because it is that amazing of a title. It's still, I mean, look at this. Tell me if you were none the wiser, tell me that this wasn't actually playing on an NES versus playing, in this case, on an Xbox Series S. I mean, it looks great, it plays great, it sounds great. We need more of this back because, quite frankly, these were amazing, amazing titles.
To infinity and beyond.
The original Toy Story for the Sega Genesis was simply terrific. It was one of those games that when you played it, you're like, this actually looks a lot like the original source material. You didn't expect it to look and sound as good as it did, and it sounded and played amazingly. Yes, there was the Super NES version, but I dare say, and don't fight me on this one, I dare say the Sega Genesis version looked and played even better. I absolutely love this version of Toy Story, and there are a couple other ones as well, but for me, the first one, definitely where it is at, and a game that I love coming back to over and over and over again. It's one of those that I have to admit I don't have in my collection right now, but something I need to get into it again. One series that for me hits a little bit harder now that I am a parent myself versus when I watched it back in the day is Disney's Goof Troop. And man, I have to tell you, all Max wanted to do was go to the concert, Goofy, and you couldn't let it happen. And Max, all Goofy wanted was for you to go fishing with him. It hits differently if you are older than when you are younger. At least it did for me. Now, this is one of the games I've honestly never played myself, but seeing Jay over at Square Pegs talking about it recently in one of his videos, you know what? I want to play this. This is a good looking puzzle game. It has great music, great gameplay overall. It doesn't look like it's too long of a game either. So it's one of those things that you could probably pick up, play it for a couple hours, and then always come back to. But Goof Troop on the Super Nintendo, just a great looking game that I think it's one of those I would definitely get into. There were so many classic and amazing 8 and 16-bit, both handheld and console Disney games, and these are just a few of them I would love to have in a compilation. And the beautiful thing, there are so many more games that you could add more and more and more. How about a Pixar collection with some of the Pixar games that are out there? Get into some of the newer consoles as well. Get into some of the games like the Toy Story Mania on the Wii. Bring that forward for on the Switch. Tell me what the motion controls. That wouldn't be a ton of fun. And it's one of those things, kind of like the Disneyland Adventures, it's bringing the fun of being in the parks home. I mean, these are just some of the games that I currently have in my collection. I would love to see a collection of, even something with the different Aladdins between the Master System, the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo. I mean, each one plays a little bit different. They look a little bit different. Let me know down in the comment section, did I miss anything? Did I get it right? Am I way off base? Let me know. Now, if you are looking for Jay's original video, I will have it linked for you coming up right up there. And make sure you check out, like I mentioned, Jay over at Square Pegs, Kris at GameDad, and John Riggs, as all of us have kind of taken this as we want to see what the four of us can come up with for some new and extended collections to build off of the Cowabunga Collection. Now, if you do want to see some of our videos where we talk about, where we picked up our JVC XI and more, those videos are coming up for you right now. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you want to help support Rocksolid Productions and be a part of our community, there's a number of different ways you can do so. First and foremost, join us over on our Patreon page or become a channel member here on YouTube. By joining through either one of those methods, you get early access to just about all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. We also give you shout-outs at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also pick up some awesome Rock Solid Productions swag. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more available through our Teespring store on screen right now too. You can also pick up some of our awesome 3D printed cartridge stands, amiibo holders, Nintendo DS holders, and more by visiting our 3D printer store on screen right now as well. Links for everything will be down below in a pinned comment. If you want to stay up to date with everything we have going on here at Rock Solid Productions, make sure that you're following us on the different social media networks. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK, and Twitter at RockSolidStudios. If you're looking to pick this and other retro and modern gaming accessories up, make sure that you head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. He has a feature over there called Castle Cash, where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases, and Castle Cash is just like cash. He also offers convenient payment plans for more expensive items over $50. Finally, make sure that you use promo code ROCKSOLID10 when you're shopping at CastlemaniaGames.com, as it can save you up to 10% on most items on the website. Again, thank you for watching this episode, and I cannot wait to see you again soon.